Peter, come on up. Peter Davidson, everyone. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. And I really appreciate, thank you, CoCard, for inviting us. We really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this morning. And if anything else, during the conference, this is the one that probably can make you the most money and put more dollars in your pocket. So hopefully we can give you an idea of how it works, what goes on, and how you can start to take advantage of it. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's going to be a walk into some bills and stuff. Okay. So basically we're just going to walk with how did cash discount get here, what are some of the trends, how it works, and all that good stuff. So, discount for cash. There's a little history behind this. So, the history, early 2012, there was the antitrust settlement between Visa and MasterCard. If all of you remember, prior to that, in the early days of the card networks, they did not allow to have you have a different price for cash versus credit. You had to have the same price for all transactions. Otherwise, you got kicked out. They did have a couple of minor exceptions, usually for their benefit. One was back in the late 1970s, early 1980s, when the gas prices hit, and they allowed some of the gas stations to have different prices. And then they wanted to get into the government business. And they found out that a lot of the governments had laws that said, if you are going to accept tax payments, you've got to accept it 100%. So they allowed surcharges for there so somebody could make some money on it. But up until that, you couldn't. But as part of the antitrust suit, part of what the merchants were saying is, well, I have the ability to ask for cash versus credit. And so it happened. So we have 5 million merchants out there that had the opportunity to award to do it. And the result was that, and between that and the Dodd-Frank law, which basically kind of put that into play, you have the ability to have a different price for cash versus credit at the register. And when I say cash versus credit, it's cash versus cards. So it's not just debit, credit card, it's debit cards, the rest of it. So keep going up. So what's the opportunity? Well, the opportunity is that, as we all know, and you guys see it every day, your merchants are getting squeezed. Your merchants are coming up every time there's an increase in dues and assessments from the networks, every time there's an increase in interchange, they're coming up, the merchants are coming up and saying, I want a cheaper price, not a more price, and you guys are charging me. So what happens? What you used to get as a margin here slims and slims and slims down to very little. So you need it, the world needs to change. So during the time when the antitrust suit first happened, there were 9 states. So basically what we did is we came up with what they call a discount for cash. And a discount for cash, from a legal perspective, basically said that we're going to charge you a transaction fee. So the prices on the shelf are the cash prices. We charge a fee for every transaction, and we waive that fee for the transaction if you use cash. So there were 9 states that did not allow surcharges, but every state allows a discount for cash. So it is, understand, it works in every single state in the United States. It's legal in every state, and it seems to be working well. So how does it work? Again, from our perspective, you basically put 2 signs in the retailer's location. So the first sign is customer pricing notice. Everything on the shelf, or if it's an e-tailer, everything on the website is the cash price. We also charge a fee per transaction. And now you see what the fee per transaction is. So we actually, this is one of the differentiators that JetPay has. We're the only ones out there, and we have a patent pending on this with one of our partners, is the actual fee table. So when you have a consumer who's coming in, they're not looking at trying to calculate, let's say I've got $27.87, 3.5% is some number. They're actually going to be able to go and look and say, all right, $27, the fee is 79 cents. So I know what it is. We believe that to be the most compliant, because we know a lot of localities and so forth have pricing laws. We believe this is the most compliant program out there. And just so you guys understand, questions have been asked. We have had the occasional consumer complaint with one of our merchants that's gone to the card networks. The networks look at it, we provide them with what we do, and they say you're fine. And we've obviously had legal people look at it. So this all works, and it's working very effectively today. So what does this mean? So if I got a traditional merchant, and we use here $57,000 a month in Hawaii, that guy is paying, let's say, $1,300 a year in interchange dues and assessments and your fees. So,
Year or a month? month?
A month, I'm sorry, a month, $16,000 a year. So you have that. Now, if we go to JetX, we just charge a fixed monthly fee, $35 for a regular merchant, $50 for an online merchant. So as you can see, and then if you lease them a terminal, let's say at $50 a month, it's going to cost them $84. They're saving, the total cost is $1,000. They're saving $15,000 a year off that merchant. So you're doing the merchant a favor.
So their statement's going to show $35, right?
That's right. The way we do it, we split it all. They do not see the discount for cash.
Okay.
So they get 100% and they get the $35. And you know, they may get, if they have a chargeback or something like that, they get a chargeback fee. But no other transaction fees, no dues and assessments, no bank fees, no anything, just a regular thing.
They get a clean 100 in the account, I run 100, they get a.
They get 100, exactly right. So, what does this mean for you? Well, if you take your normal deal, and I forget where we are, I think we're 65 basis points margin, which is probably high for many of the merchants today, you're making about $3,000 a year off that merchant. If I go to the discount for cash, and I do the math off of what your revenue share would be and the rest of it, you're going to make $12,000 a year off that merchant. You're going to make over $9,000 a year more on that merchant. So it really makes a big difference in how it works and how you do it. So it really is an opportunity to.
So are you saying that you're going to charge, let's say, 3.5%? What's your number?
So what we do is, again, we separate a little bit. So on a regular merchant, a non-e-commerce merchant, we target those tiers that I showed you at 3.5% at the top of the tier. So I'll give you an example. If I have a $10 charge and I'm doing 3.5%, it's 35 cents. But I have a bucket between $5 and $10. So if a guy goes and buys a pizza for $7, obviously that number is going to be a little higher than 3.5% because it's still 35 cents over the $7, not 35 cents over the $10. So it actually comes out to about 3.8. Our experience is about 3.8, 3.9%.
Is he going to break that in the receipt?
Yeah, and they see. We'll show you. You can see the receipts. It basically shows adjustment. You know, so yeah, so that's basically how it works. So obviously, it makes it easy for the merchant. They're getting 100% of their information. They're getting 100% of everything. They don't see all this stuff go through. They have, obviously, you know, what we do is we do it against all cards. So they have cash and credit. One of the questions somebody might question is, what do we do with the e-commerce merchant? E-cash or ACH. So the customer will have a choice of paying by their bank account or paying by credit or debit card. And if they pay by credit or debit card, they pay the fee. If they don't, we're also building this out for our recurring payments. I mean, you think about somebody who's getting billed $35 a month. Why are they going to notice an extra buck on that particular bill? Especially because they see it every month. Those types of things are really getting exciting. Go ahead.
So do you have any point of sale integration?
Any
Any point of sale integration?
Yeah, we're coming. Good question. Next. All right, so what are some of the options we have here to take the market? Our normal terminal is the PAX. We have, I think it's a PAX 350, whatever it is. That's the standard terminal. All this stuff is built into those terminals. We also have some semi-integrated capabilities and the rest of it. We have just recently announced a deal with Mint and just certified them. So now we have a point of sale system, the Mint point of sale system. And by the way, if there's somebody has another point of sale system that you happen to like, if you can get them to give us a call, and if they want to integrate to us, we're more than happy to figure out a way to make that work.
Bingo.
Honor. Give them a call.
We are.
I want you guys to have lunch today.
S300 packs?
Yeah, there's a number of different taxes.
So that means, yes, we can use it.
Right. Again, e-commerce, we have both a virtual terminal as well as the ability to do it on e-commerce. So you could have somebody with a website, you can have somebody with a virtual terminal, a lot of different options there. And you can see, again, the register kind of shows how all that stuff works. We also have a wireless mobile device, our My Mobile Money product, which works on pretty much any modern tablet or cell phone, and then has the EMV connection and separate printer and all that kind of stuff. So you can do mobile as well. So, what are some of the questions people ask when we get into this? This is merchants. I heard it's illegal to charge a fee if someone takes a credit card. Well, we just went through that on that detail. I'm not going to follow, but you kind of get the message. No, it's not. This is a discount for cash, and so it's not a surcharge. How much does it cost? $35 a month if you're a regular merchant, $50 a month if you're an e-commerce merchant, and then whatever you guys want to add for terminal costs. You guys, it's your call. Won't customers dislike the idea of an added fee? And this is the biggest one, and this is where the merchant has to do a really good job, and where you guys have to do a good job of teaching the merchant. The best way to cover this is to say to the customer, for the merchant to say to the customer, look, for years, credit cards cost me more than cash. Never mind all those studies out there. It costs me 3.5% or whatever it is, X thousand dollars a year to take credit cards. All the people who pay cash has been subsidizing that because they have to charge the same price. So if I get two people in a room, one guy pays cash, one guy pays credit, the guy who is paying by credit card is basically, the guy who's paying by cash is basically handing the guy who's paying by credit card money because he's taking up that thing. So now we're saying we're going to be fair to our customers. If you want to pay in cash, that's fine. You're no longer subsidizing the guys who want to use cards. Those people who want the convenience and value proposition, the card's great, and it is significant between guarantees and chargeback capabilities and so forth, record keeping, etc., then okay, you're going to pay for that privilege, and so it's fair. And I think when you have that reasonable dialogue, they're still not going to like it. So there's some people, as we all know, that just don't like any fees whatsoever. But the question for the merchant really is, am I going to be somebody who is losing that customer, or losing that, am I going to lose business because I'm doing this surcharge thing? And after a while, I think that's going to change. Early adopters, maybe a little bit more.
What industries are you seeing are having a hard time with this?
Not so much harder time, it's more, I think it's more location. So if I take a look at it, what are the ideas? Some of them are really easy to knock off. If you're a restaurant or a bar in a tourist location or a nightclub or something like that, where somebody's going to go anyway, no big deal, that's easy. If you're a pizza shop on campus, it's no big deal. People aren't going to stop going to that pizza shop just because you're charging them extra 35 cents for the pizza. Where you're probably going to have trouble, first of all, somebody who sells on price. If you're going to a supermarket, I think that's a tough sell because they sell on price. And also anything that's going to be a big ticket that's not unique. So if I'm a Morton Steakhouse and somebody is going to pay $400, so they're going to end up paying $15 or so. Well, if I got Ruth's Chris next door and Capital Grill next door, I might lose customers on. So that's the one I got to think about. We think over time this is going to be very much like ATM surcharges. They started out little dribs and drabs, and the guy next door did it, the guy next door did it. Eventually, it will be relatively universal. I think there's some industries that will never adopt it, but I think we'll find a lot.
Won't this affect our average ticket tradition? Statistics point out of the three payment types, cash, checks, and credit cards, a consumer will spend more on their credit card than they will with the check. They'll spend more on their check than they will cash. So
that's correct, and you're absolutely right. But it's not, part of the reason is because when a person goes to pay cash and all they have in their pocket is cash, that's all they can spend.
okay, so they're already.
But if they have the choice, if they come in and they want to spend more and they don't have enough cash in their pocket, then they say, okay, I'm willing to pay the fee to use the card because I want to get this now. I want the convenience of getting it now, not having to go get more cash and come back and get it. So that was a good question.
How is it affected on the debit card? You know, all the lawsuits with the debit being the same as cash.
Right, but the fact is that debit cards today are still charged fees. There's still interchange fees associated with debit cards. There's still dues and assessments associated with credit cards. We believe that this process works for debit cards or credit cards. We made it simple to have it one price.
First question is, can we use this on any tax equipment, or is it just specific to
Eventually it's going to be on all the tax equipment. I don't know off the top of my head exactly which equipment we have. That's all available. You can see me later. We'll give you all the details.
Number two is, when they sign an application, you leasing, or do we have to go outside leasing?
It's better for you to do your own leasing. We don't. We have a leasing company to provide, but we're not. That's not free terminal. Yeah. But that's not business. We're not in to sell terminals, we're not in to sell leases. It's part of it.
I think you guys will find it utility customers will be the best.
Yeah, I think in business to business, wholesalers, manufacturers, towing companies, I would think the restaurants, brick and mortars are gonna be the last to come. That's just my guess. But,
Again, depending on the restaurant, you know, you get a high, you talk about a chain like
if you have more questions, he's gonna be here, but give us some more slides here. Okay, well, I do want to just mention a couple of things. So how do we, you know, we signed an agreement with JetPay. So as members here, do we need, so we're all already set up to offer this program. So I run across a merchant in my office that we need to compete or we want to do this. Is there a training program?
The CoCard Center, but basically we're working with the people in the CoCard Center.
Bars?
And they have the information.
Allie and Barb at our home office can get you set up so that you know how to board a merchant on this program.
Yeah, we have a specific client relations manager as well as an account manager for CoCard. So if you have questions on day-to-day stuff, you talk to the account manager. If you have bigger questions.
So we can go direct for sales support. We don't even go through Barb. We can say, hey, I have a question on that.
Absolutely.
Yes, Scott. Yep.
You guys are also the processor, right?
We are.
Yeah, that's it, to make sure
Yeah.
everyone knows that.
We have great buy rate. We have a processing agreement, right?
Yeah. You also have a processing agreement with us.
Yeah.
Probably it's probably better on the e-commerce side.
Yeah.
Because on the other side, by the way, our platform is really good at e-commerce.
But we have to use it.
Yes.
We have to have a customer.
This isn't a gateway that's going to go into TSYS or First Data.
Right?
Hey, and just want to make sure everyone understands, they also do payroll services too.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of stuff. We do have an ISO agreement with JetPay. Okay, so they
Yeah,
are, yeah, that's
so we
separate.
have a payroll, you know, when I was looking at these other services, a lot of us want to start,
Yeah.
when I go into sell point of sale, one of the things that Dennis does is we look to save them money in other areas, credit card being one. We want to move to payroll. If we can look at a payroll statement, just like we do a credit card statement, we can easily punch up the $10 a month per head. Okay, I can save you $200 a month on your payroll. Oh, and that pays for your point of sale system. But so we have if any of you want to dive into a payroll, offering a payroll product, they acquired a company back in the Allentown area, 2012.
And by the way, that company, JetPay HR Payroll Services, covers any size company up to
They're huge.
100 employees.
Very reputable payroll company.
Best service in the country. Best service in the
Yeah.
country.
Another way to make money, why not? Why not ask the merchant, what are you doing for your payroll service? I asked my wife, Rima, who runs our payroll, I thought it'd be like she'd have a problem because she loves the ADP, whoever we're using. She goes, well, no, switching payroll services is easier than switching credit card processing.
It is.
And I think it's not only payroll, but basically it's like having your own HR department. isn't it?
Yeah,
That's right.
it's
Yeah,
having your
we
own
have to separate
HR.
that.
So if you want to talk to him at the table about that side of the business, while he's here, while JetPay's here, go get it.
And by the way, somebody out here
Just one other quick statement. If you make sure you contact the corporate office because you got to get set up with the
Right,
sales.
so
page
initially
code.
Barb and Allie,
Yeah.
in order to get set up with JetPay, contact our corporate office, get your office set up so that you can get paid.
Well, no, because you don't want to expect to go there one day and set a deal up.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's better to get it in advance.
Get some training, boarding training and things like that.
The other thing that one of the CoCard people, when we talked about this last fall at the ETA, as we were working to set it up, had an idea that I thought was brilliant. We haven't tried it yet, but it sounds like something that's ripe for an opportunity, is going back and looking at some of your lower margin merchants in your own existing portfolio.
Yes.
And saying, well, could I increase that margin by
That's what I'm gonna do.
a discount for cash?
Yeah.
If the merchant was willing, then I think that's a great one. The other thing you should be prepared to do is, this is something you should be aware of, there are some merchants who will try it and change their mind. However, what we've set up is, in our terms and conditions, the merchant has to stay with us. We just push them over to their old rate. So you still get the merchant, you still get the revenue you have, but you say, okay, well, we would just swap out the terminal and give you a standard terminal instead of the other one. So there's lots of different
Well,
options.
I'd like to get this set up on revenue.
Yes.
With Honor, because that's a great opportunity. We can just hit that button on the point of sale system.
Yeah. No, we'd happy to have those conversations. It's not that hard to integrate people, because it took us, I think, 60 days. So,
Well, let's give Peter a hand, thank you.
You're gonna be on the boat, right?
Yeah, you're out with them. Well, great news. We're gonna have some more beach time today if we keep going like this. I'm kidding. We're a little ahead of schedule. We're gonna take a brief break, and hey, you can blame me. I cooled down the room. Might be a little too cold in here. I'll get that heated up for you. All right, let's take a 15